Well, once again, here we are.
Hello.
I'm Mark Crandall.
And I'm Mark Crandall.
And this must be Cooking with the
Crandalls.
Of course.
How you doing? Crandall's here.
We're back. We're
right.
Bringing you uninterrupted television footage live from the cutting room right here.
From the cutting room right here. From the wonderful studio at Dover Sherburne TV.
Absolutely. So, what do we have today? Well, for my table, we have lovely fillets of haddock right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a simple lemon butter.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it on the stovetop, and I'm going to put the butter, melt the butter, put the lemon in, and actually cook the lemon flavor into the butter, and just make it, take
kinda
the lemons
infused.
out. It's what's called a compound butter. A simple butter is when you cut something up, and it's just that ingredient plus the butter. But a compound butter is when you infuse that flavor in there. Like, say you melt butter and you put lobster tail, or like the actual lobster shell in there.
Really?
You obviously can't eat the lobster shell.
Right.
So you take it out, and it's called a compound butter.
I did not know that. So anytime you want to put something in to make it flavor, you do the butter, you melt the butter.
Yep, you melt the butter. And
with whatever it is in it.
With whatever it is, yeah. That's how
so
most
you're going to
people do
make
it.
lemon-infused butter.
Yep, exactly. And I'm going to take that lemon butter, and we have some crackers here.
Yeah.
From, we had that discussion earlier.
Ritz
about
crackers?
Ritz crackers,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
And, well, I'm going to obviously chop them up and put in the lemon butter, put some basil in there and oregano. And that's something we can talk about later. We had a little discussion about that.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's that. We'll put it on, put it in the oven, pour a little bit of Chardonnay over the top.
Very nice
and
for
just
flavor.
Simple, we put that in there. And also, I'm going to be boiling up some vermicelli.
Vermicelli. Hey, nice.
I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to saute the haddock today, and I'm also going to bake it.
Really?
Because while it's baking, I can simply do something else.
Sounds good, actually.
while you're waiting.
Yeah. What I'm going to do, my turn. Thank you very much.
Your turn.
What I'm going to do is I am going to take some tomatoes, some mozzarella, and some onions, and put them all together and make what I call it like a loose bruschetta.
A loose bruschetta?
A loose bruschetta. It's not, you've been to restaurants or probably made some where they're finely diced tomatoes.
Yep.
Things like that, finely
Absolutely.
diced. No, I'm going to go more loose, bigger stuff.
Okay.
And then we'll put them on bread, cut up nice bread.
Well, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, and then,
But
there's more.
But there's more.
But
there's more.
we're going to, on this side of the kitchen, we're going to make some manicotti. Manicotti.
Manicotti.
Yep.
Manicotti?
Yep. Manicotti.
And, what kind of sauce are you using for that?
I'm using, what I said in the beginning of the episode, way back.
Way back when
how
we
make
made our own sauce?
Yeah.
Did you bring it?
What I did was I've made, the nice pots on the stove of spaghetti sauce that simmers all day. Well, then I can it. I basically put it in the freezer, might put it in some Tupperware.
So basically you just use it and you recycle old containers.
I do.
And you use your own sauce.
That's right. And I brought some today, right? Well, whatever. I see somebody doctored our...
That's funny.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
Oh, there he is. Well, anyway.
So we do that and we'll put that on. So I'll be doing that. And what I'd like as a side dish with the manicotti is some blanched beans.
Okay.
Green beans.
Now, when you mean blanch, you mean par cook. Because if you didn't blanch them, you'd be boiling them. Blanching is when you throw it in boiling water, maybe 30 seconds. It depends on the food that you're using. And the whole system of shocking it, it's for the green color. It keeps the color that way.
Oh.
Otherwise, it's still cooking after you take it out, so it loses that color.
Interesting.
And it's lush,
Interesting. So that's why you see vibrant colors, like, and something. And it's still kind of almost like they say al dente or something.
Yep.
So this is a blanch. It's cooked, right?
Like
is it
they
cooked?
do for pasta. cold pasta primavera.
Yeah.
And you know how they shock the noodles right after they come out, so it stops the cooking.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's served cold. So same thing.
Interesting.
All right, well, I'm going to I already de-skinned most of it.
Okay.
I'm going to take the skin off the fillet on this one.
All right, what I'm doing is I just bought some noodles at the store, and I'm just going to put them in boiling water.
Oh, wow. Wow, that was fast. There you go. Well, anyway, we have to start, and I have to get the fillets going right away. So what I'm going to do is while you're starting that, I'm going to start mashing up the Ritz crackers. And actually, you want to know what?
What?
I'm going to make that butter first.
Oh, okay.
So you got that, a quick wipe of this. Clean the cutting board, of course.
Okay. And what I'm going to do is I've got some ricotta cheese. And what I'm doing here with the ricotta cheese, is I'm just I use the part skim. You know, we're all watching our weight now because cooking can be so much fun and tasting and everything like that. But actually, I'm trying to watch the amount of calories that we consume, especially me. Mm-hmm. And so what I'm going to do is I'm using the part skim, and I am going to use cheeses. I'm going to use some Parmesan and a little bit of mozzarella. And I'm going to use that in here along with my other spices to make my base. Right here? Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, all right. I see what you're doing there. Yeah. Now, what I'm going to do is just in a nice little pot. Yeah. I'm going to start melting the butter, put it in there. I've already pre-cut a couple of lemons.
Oh, okay.
Lemon slices. So I'm just going to put it in there. The butter's going to start to melt. And we're going to actually wait a second because I don't want to put the lemon in there right away because it's just going to cook by itself. You know, it might burn or something.
Yep. What I'm going to do...
You don't want to lose the flavor.
What I always do is put a little olive oil in with the pasta. Mm-hmm. You know, I'll put it over here because I know you're making some vermicelli.
Absolutely.
So it keeps the noodles from sticking together. So now I'm going to take some garlic powder. Okay. Now, a lot of people use garlic salt, and that's okay. But what I like to do is take about a teaspoon, maybe a little less, of garlic powder and just kind of put it in here. And the reason why I'm using garlic powder is because it's not salt. So, you know, you're cutting down on the salt, things like that. So I'm putting that just a good amount. Like I said, maybe a little less than a teaspoon.
Now,
about that much.
Yeah. Okay. What I'm doing right here is just, like I said, crushing up the crackers. Yeah. But if you want to make a stuffing, this is a perfect way to make a stuffing, too. If you want to put some crab meat in there, maybe a little lobster meat, some other fish, you know. Yeah. Perfect way to do it right on top. Okay.
Now, what I'm going to take is I've got oregano here. Now, the oregano, I'm going to put in a couple pinches, maybe 1 pinch. So I'm going to return the oregano back to its case. What I think the difference is, and I'm also going to put in basil. I like to put more basil in than oregano because basil is, in my opinion, I'm putting in a pinch and probably a half of the basil.
Now, we were talking about basil and oregano earlier, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. The basil is a much lighter spice than the oregano. Oregano is much heavier than the basil. And what do you know about the...
Well, basil, it's funny because it has more of a flat leaf. It looks like baby spinach.
Basil does?
Yeah, basil, just like baby spinach.
Yeah.
And oregano is more... I use the word twig, you know, because it's like oregano, a twig with the little leaves coming off of that, but they're tiny, you know?
Okay.
All right.
Now... The interesting thing is, everybody can season this to their own taste. Now, I'm going to tell you something. The easy thing about doing this is most impressive. You can impress people, you know, till the cows come home, just basically doing this. Now, I'm going to turn around. As you can see, the consistency is good. I've also put parsley in it. Parsley is one of those spices that is not overbearing. It's not anything like that. But it's good for
it's good for final show, as they call it. Yeah.
Yeah. The presentation,
the look, a garnish.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah. Now I am actually going to sample that.
That's a wise decision.
Yeah.
Decision. There you go. Can't speak today. Don't mind.
It actually tastes pretty good. This is right on. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to set this aside a little bit. Okay. It's not quite done because what I didn't do was to add an egg.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people will say this is done, but I don't, because I always like to give an egg in there and you fluff it up.
Absolutely.
Now, I put the egg in another container before I put it in. What's the reason?
In another container? Because it might be a bad egg.
That's right. I don't want to wreck the whole thing.
You don't want to smell that bad sulfur in the air.
Should I use 2 eggs?
2 eggs? I think we should.
Give it a little more fluff?
Give it a little more fluff.
So what's the egg property do in this?
Egg property? It's, well, eggs are a leavener, yeah?
Leavener, meaning?
Meaning level. As in desserts, eggs are used to hold the structure. The structure. I told you I can't talk today. Don't mind me.
Hey, you had finals, though, just yesterday?
Yep, I'm done with the try. I could tell you all you want about sociology, but I don't think that has anything to do with cooking.
Oh, you got to do that part of for well-rounded education.
Yeah.
That's right.
The good stuff.
That's right. So, now, this is the difference.
So I've noticed...
See this? A lot fluffier? Yeah. Look at that puppy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a lot fluffier.
So I like the look.
Yeah, I like the look.
Looks delicious.
Okay. So I'm going to set this aside.
Now, I've noticed these knives I'm using right now. This isn't my knife kit knives. Where'd you get these?
Oh, I found those under the Christmas tree once.
That's funny. Yeah, I was going to say they look familiar. But anyway, I'm just making this, it's a very fast cut. It's a rough chop over here. But I'm trying to make nice thin strips so when we do the actual vermicelli, what are we going to call this today? We can call it whatever we want.
I know.
It's our own creation.
Crandall vermicelli? Or?
Crandall vermicelli sounds great.
A Toro vermicelli?
Yeah.
Sounds like somebody who should be driving a race car. And there's our Toro vermicelli! He's
in the way. Get him. Speaking of which, that was a rough race the other day.
Oh, the Daytona 500?
Yeah, the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
A bunch of crashes on that.
Yeah. Some people just love to see that.
I guess so. Well, it was an interesting match. It was the first time that a person in, 44th place?
Is that what it was?
Finished first, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome.
But anyway.
Alrighty.
So I'm still just cutting these peppers. These are fun.
All right, I'm looking for my pan.
Your pan?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to it.
Uh-oh. Well, you don't want to lose your pan. You better find that. And as you can see, I'm just going to check again on the butter.
Okay.
It's exactly what you want. It's melting. You can actually let that sit now. I'm just going to let the flavor stick. And as soon as that's done, we're going to add that to the breadcrumbs, and we'll take it from there.
Well, here's the pan. So what I'm going to do is...
well, you're going to use that great tomato sauce right there. That's what you're going to use.
I'm going to throw some of this in here. And what I'm doing here is to use it for a base.
Okay.
Okay.
So it has something to sit in?
Yep. Now, I'm also going to dilute it just a little bit with water. Mm-hmm. Because I expect a lot of it to steam out, boil out.
Yep.
So I want to spread it nice and thin. Now, approximately, it's been about 7-8 minutes. So what I want to do now is to take the noodles, my manicotti, and feel them. This is the only part. Please be careful, okay? I know it's right. It's good. So what you would do is to actually empty this into some water, empty the water out, and then pour some nice cold water in here, which we've kind of taken the liberties of taking some water, pouring some of the water out, and then pouring nice cold water in here, which stops the cooking, like Art had said.
Yep. Now, for this...
Yep.
This isn't the first time you've been making this, is this?
No, I make this. I like to cook, So what I did was earlier, just before the show, we did some cooking, and we cooked exactly the noodles, the other half of the trays.
Yep.
And I let them cool. So here they are. You can tell they're even on the nice plastic here. Okay. So it's nice. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to infuse the manicotti. That's it.
Just fill it?
Yep.
All right. Well, that seems fair enough.
Yeah. What did I say? Infuse?
Yeah.
Is that the word?
No, you can fill it.
I'm infusing. I'm filling.
He's infusing it with
That's right.
cheese.
That's right.
Yeah, just to use that term earlier to define what I was doing to the butter. I don't think it goes there.
No.
No, I don't.
No.
We'll cancel that one out.
Oh, cut. Yeah. So as you can see, right here, that's all it is. It's just basically I'm putting some on the pan down the bottom, and I'm just filling the manicotti. And you know, this is really easy, and it's very impressive, actually. Because somebody turns around, and when you order manicotti in a restaurant, and you say, oh my goodness, how good it is, you know, yeah, there's a lot of work behind it, but there's not a lot of work behind it. You know what I mean?
No, there really isn't. I mean, there's, obviously you have to make the cheese mixture, if you will, first.
Yep.
And then you have to boil the pasta.
Yep.
And then you have to find your great tomato sauce.
Yep.
And, you know, just add cheese.
Yep.
And just let it bake. It does all the work itself.
You know what I'm doing? I forgot.
What are you doing?
I get excited and stuff like that. But I like to throw, believe it or not, a little bit of mozzarella, and a little bit of Parmesan in here. Okay? And that gives it like a 3-cheese type of flavor. They also have at the supermarket like a 4-cheese, and sometimes with the smoked provolone is in that.
Yeah, the smoked provolone. The 4-cheese is interesting. It's usually the same cheeses. It's Parmesan, mozzarella, oregano.
Oregano?
Yeah, I can't even talk. Oregano. Well, they throw that cheese in there for, you know. Parmesan.
Yeah.
Romano. I told you, I can't talk today.
Yep.
Don't mind me.
The Romano is a good cheese, though. I like a Romano cheese.
Now I'm just taking the lemon butter that I made.
Yeah.
Yep, you can see too.
Yeah.
You can see. Just mixing it up. It might be hot. You might want to use a spoon, but
okay.
Right here we have a fork, so we're upgrading.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I'm going to get in there with my hands. And you want to add enough so that's nice and moist. But at the same time, don't add too much so that your entire, fish is drenched. I mean, it's good. It's going to be good. Yeah. It's butter, But
yeah, you don't want to overpower it, though. Plus, I mean, if you put too much butter in it,
it's no good.
No, it's a little butter is good for flavor. I suppose it's like anything. If you overdo anything, it's not good.
Exactly.
So this is actually, this is where if you got young kids at home and you say, hey, do you want to try this? And they say, hey, Dad, hey, Mom, can I try to do this? The only thing you might be wary of is that they would break the noodles. And you know what? Let me show you something. Because right out of the pan, there's noodles that crack anyway. All right?
Yep.
So I'm just going to take one and show you what to do. I'm going to fill it like that.
While you're doing that, I've just pre-lined a sheet pan with aluminum foil and take a fillet of fish.
Yeah.
Simple. Do a couple for us.
Can't even tell.
Yep. And take that stuffing or the crumb topping. Just spread over the top.
So, what I was in Virginia this past week, and the weather was pretty good. Yep. It was kind of like up here. But what I find is there's a lot of people who, when you talk that you're from Boston, in Massachusetts, that they turn around and say, oh, I love the seafood, or oh, I love all the food up there.
Yep.
It's
a constant, it's the New England chowder in Boston.
Yeah.
Unbelievable,
Yeah.
I'm just, right now, I'm just straining it out, taking a little vermicelli, taking that, And we're going to throw this pan on right here. Throw a little butter on there. A little more. That's where we're going to have our concoction for the vermicelli. And just get it nice and hot real quick. Torch this thing. That's on hot. Alright, we'll start that cooking. And once that starts heating up very fast, which that should be any second now, give it a finger test. Nope, not yet. Give it a second. And even so, we just start putting them on there. Alright, these are all the peppers we've cut, obviously. And just going to saute them up a little bit. Later we'll be going the whole time. I'm going with the lemon butter for everything. The infused lemon butter, keeping that flavor of lemon going. So we got it in the oven. We got the lemon butter cooking these vegetables right here. And plus, we'll be cooking the haddock in the lemon butter in a saute pan as well. Now, to make a cream sauce for this, the only thing we had on hand was half and half. So we're going to have to take that and possibly reduce it and see if we can boil away a little bit of the water in there. Put a little more vegetables on there.
All right, while I'm doing this, I've been, we just put the, finished off the manicotti, put it in the oven, and now I've just been slicing up some tomatoes from my bruschetta.
Same thing in here, we're just going to get this going. Put water in there for the fish. Get the fish going here. My apology, I was told I wasn't talking enough last episode. Someone very dear to me told it. I think you know her, Dad. I think you've known her for a long time. But anyway. Alright, so we got those cooking nice. Alright, so we're taking that, and I think we can start the fish. The fish might be tough. You don't want to cook it at a very hot temperature because then you're going to have to finish it in the oven because it won't reach an internal temperature of 145. But for the time being, we're going to crank it up a little bit.
Okay. Sounds good. Now what I'm going to do, sounds good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take those tomatoes that I chopped up. I sliced them. I just kind of, what do you call this? Just a regular old...
That's a rough chop right there. Chop. Anything that isn't, specific measurements, call it a rough chop.
I like that. It's a rough chop.
Anyway, this is Chardonnay 2004, California wine right here. Just going to put a little bit of this with our veggies going here.
And what I've taken is some buffalo mozzarella. And I've got you can take the large chunks or the small chunks, and I will just tear them and put them in here. Now what I've done is I've put them in I use 7 Seas or balsamic vinaigrette, whatever you want, but just to cut it up like this. And that's all. I mean, it's really very simple. This is a wonderful appetizer also. Just wonderful. Out on the deck in the summertime, entertaining people, just have something like this. It's very easy. You could put in what you want. Garlic and perhaps chunks of garlic, cloves. You could put that in too. And look how easy this is. I mean, it's just taking some tomatoes, maybe even from your own garden, if you have something like that. And then just pour it right in.
As you can see, the fish is turning out very well. We got a little bit more time. Got to cook out. The butter's going to go right in and soak in for flavor.
Okay.
So just checking up on that. You should see I'm still sauteing the fish right here.
Yep.
It's looking good.
Now what I want to do is throw some parsley. Excuse me.
Yeah, no problem. The vegetables right now, they're sweating. If it was a hot enough temperature, they'd be being sauteed.
Very good.
Yeah, so, interesting fact.
Look at that.
That looks delicious. I can't wait to bite into that.
Now, you know what else we could have done that I forgot to do?
What's that?
Throw in some basil leaves. Basil leaves is very good. And basil leaves makes it look you know, presentable type of thing.
Okay.
Let me get this out of here.
Yeah, get that.
So I'm going to throw that right here. Okay. Now, last thing I want to do is to cut up a couple of these, and we'll blanch them.
Oh, definitely.
Blanch. Oh,
Blanch.
I'll drop this.
Duvois. Oh, that's a street code named Desire.
Oh, yeah?
Is that it? Yeah.
So nice, fresh green beans.
Those are looking delicious. Are those out of our garden? I think they look like they're homegrown.
No, they're from the United States, though.
Oh, that's, well, at least it's home soil.
That's right. That's right. Nothing wrong with that.
The fish over here is looking delicious.
The fish is actually from the United States, too.
Oh, well, that's
right off of George's Bank.
Beautiful. I'm going to let those cook a little bit longer, and then we're going to add the half and half to make the cream sauce for this delicious concoction we got going on here.
I'm looking at the clock, and we don't have too much time left.
That's absolutely true.
So this will probably take a few seconds anyway.
Did you hear that? I think I heard that ding. Wow,
ding, ding, ding.
That looks edible.
It does.
I can eat
looks
that.
edible.
Yeah, I can eat
so,
that.
you know what? I am just about ready myself to take these out of the boiling water.
Get a little bit of this right here.
I'm going to put it right on the side. But I am going to, what you do is, if you notice, I put the aluminum foil on there for a while. And what that does is make sure that nothing burns. So I'm going to throw this on here just like that. And then I've taken some of our sauce, and in this case, Brad's Wicked Awesome tomato sauce, perhaps. Sprinkle that like that. And we're ready to eat on that. I'm going to put this over here.
Very confusing.
And make sure that my bread was cut up. I cut that up. So I'm going to put this over here and just say, here's some bread. And this is really easy to do. Just cut it up like this. Okay. And then throw this on for bruschetta. Okay.
Nice little, that's our piece of fish that we got. And then a nice little drizzle of sauce.
Oh, it looks delicious, man. Woo, baby. I can see Mike over there going like, oh.
Mike's ready for it.
Yeah. Hey, we got a new cameraman today.
That's
We'd
right.
like to say hi to Pat. Her mom passed away, so that's very sad. But, gee, how did we know it was going to be Brad who was going to do the cameraman today, huh?
I don't know. I think he just picked us.
I think he did, too.
Yeah.
I think that's funny.
I think it was the other way around.
Yeah, that Brad, what a guy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, he's doing a bang-up job doing the camera today.
So, you know, one of the things about, what do you think about vermicelli? Vermicelli is a little bigger than angel hair. Not quite as big as spaghetti. But everything, there's a spaghetti for everybody. Cam doesn't like angel hair, I don't think, does he?
Really?
Yeah, I like angel hair.
I did not know that.
I didn't either. Until I made it, and he goes, I don't like angel hair.
Well, go figure.
So, yeah, that Cam. Anyway, are we all set here? Come on over.
Just give me a second. I'm cleaning the plate up.
Plate up?
Plate up.
All right. So, for a appetizer, we got a nice bruschetta. I did this down in Virginia. I was saying I was in Virginia. And what they did was they had a Super Bowl get-together, a party. And what I did was they said, hey, do you have any specialties? Even though you're a consultant, do you have any specialties? And I said, I can make brewski bruschetta. Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, brewski
But
bruschetta.
I made it, and everybody, and I went and I used an Italian dressing.
All right.
You know, 7 C's, but I think I used Newman's Italian balsamic. Put that in, let that set actually overnight. I cut the tomatoes and the onions. They loved it. They go, who's this guy from the north, you know?
Yeah, who's this guy from Boston?
So then I got my Manicotti with the blanched, the nice fresh looking. Don't they look good?
Oh, absolutely.
Look good.
It looks delicious. I mean, what person wouldn't? We got the vermicelli right here.
Yeah.
And we got our cream sauce over the top of the fish that we started to saute. We finished it in the oven. And, of course, the pepper and the onion mixture. And over here, and this is the trend lately. It's been the trend. The raw food. People
Oh,
are
yeah?
doing a lot of raw food. So
Really?
I put just the raw peppers down there.
Okay.
And a little bit of vermicelli right there. Mm-hmm. And that was the lemon butter. I'm going to call it the bread encrusting on that fish right there.
Lemon encrusted bread.
Yeah, the lemon.
Arturo's.
It's the lemon, because I put a bit of the Chardonnay in there for a little extra
little
kick.
flavor?
Yep, a little flavor there.
Okay.
And you can enjoy this meal with
We will.
the wine as well.
Ah, very good.
Very
good job.
Well, anyway, I think that pretty much wraps it up.
I think it's time to eat. See the cameraman going there, So anyway, I'm Art Crandall.
I'm Art Crandall.
This must be Cooking with the Crandalls.